Hey guys, I was on Reddit recently, which does have some good gun content, and I read a question which just made me think it would be worthwhile making a short video to talk about it. And this question wasn't for me, it was just a question somebody posted. And the question was, what makes an AK-47 so reliable in harsh conditions? And is there a way to replicate that on an AR-15? So, first, let's talk about the statement the AK-47 is so reliable in harsh conditions versus an AR-15. This is implying that the AR is less reliable than the AK, right? Well, is it? So when the AR was first put into service in Vietnam, it did have some reliability issues, no doubt about that. A lot of this stems to the Army's use of improper ammunition, not what the rifle called for, which fouled the rifle, caused jamming. There was a misconception to just what you could do to the AR design. A lot of people touted it as self-cleaning. We know nothing is quite that good, right? You do have to use stuff as it's intended to be used. And the AK is a little better at that. It tolerates neglect better than the AR. It will run dirtier without maintenance. So in that way, it can handle harsh conditions better, but a lot of people will say the AK works great because it was designed with loose tolerances. So, okay, are loose tolerances good from an engineering standpoint for function? The answer to that is no, they're not. Loose tolerances, it creates a gap, right? That's what loose tolerances are. You get either gaps or it could go the other way and stuff is too tight. And large gaps are an ingress point for dirt, debris, all kinds of stuff that doesn't need to be in the rifle getting into the rifle. And you can look at videos like the in-range mud tests, right? Mud gets into the action of an AK a lot easier than it will get into the action of an AR, because the AR is designed tight, it's well sealed, it keeps the bad stuff out. One thing the AK really has going for it is they are designed with, they're way overgassed, right? They put a lot of energy into the action, so it will force it to operate even when it's pretty gummed up. ARs also tend to be overgassed, but not quite as bad as AKs. If you fired an AK and you see your spent cases fly like 50 feet, that's because it's overgassed, right? So these loose tolerances, the overgassing, it's not really made to make a reliable rifle. What it's made to do is make a reliable that's easier to manufacture, cheaper to manufacture. Now, it does happen to work pretty well with AKs, but to say the AK is super reliable, I think that's a little bit overplayed. Now, I've fired a lot more rounds out of ARs than AKs, thousands of rounds out of ARs. So I'm not an AK expert, not an AR expert either, but just in my personal experience, I have never had an AR malfunction that was not my fault. Either I did something wrong or I assembled something wrong. When I'm using the rifle properly, never had a problem with an AR. So that's just my take. AKs are great, ARs are great, but to say the AK is the #1 most reliable, I'm not really so sure. So what do you think? Let me know. Thanks for watching.